I do have to follow up on something Jared just said in terms of his value, because Jared does this a lot, but he claps back at fans on Twitter when people question him.
I've kind of stopped him lately.
No, Jared, there was a good 3 or 4 years where I saw a tweet every week.
I was.
But can you explain, like, to the average fan who doesn't see you on the court in the rotation for the last couple of years, you have incredible value. What is that value? I know what it is, but can you just explain that?
First thing first, you can only play, let's realistically, 8 to 10 guys on a consistent basis. So 11 through 15 are not going to play. You're going to be a practice guy. And what are your values? So either 11 through 15, you're either a young guy, either a first-round pick that can't play on a good team, or you're trying to find yourself in this league, Cameron Payne, who you're the third or fourth option. You're not going to hear me complain to the coach about that. He has to already worry about 9 or 10 personalities. So now you have a guy like LeBron, right? Certain people are intimidated by him. When it comes to either coaching staff, when it comes to ownership, when it comes to players, of what to say, what not to say. When it goes to the film, when we watch film and the coaches are talking about film, there at least 2 to 3 times every film session, I will call somebody out of what they're doing wrong. If it's AD, if it's Braun, if it's KCP, because I want everyone to know that our goal is a championship. So there can't be one player that we pick on or not. That's not how it's going to be on this type of team. So for me, it's AD. You can't be lazy right here. You have to be able to get the ball side to side, or you have to run the lane to open up a 3-point shot. And if you do that in September and October, once the playoffs hit, they already know, hey, Jared, what do you see out there? I'm like, hey, you're guarding Draymond. You can't play with the ball with Draymond. Go right away, because he's got good hands, and he's going to – and so it's letting him understand, or don't even try to post him up. Set the screen. They're going to switch. And so when it comes to that, and then it's now, as you would know, the camaraderie. And this is why I excel in the camaraderie. I'm going to be on the gambling table. I'm going to gamble with the guys. Every team I've been on, I'm gambling with you. So if I can gamble with you, take your money, you take my money, we laugh it off, we go drink some wine, go have a beer. Now, during the game, I could curse at you and you're not going to get mad. You're not going to be sensitive to me. What the hell are you doing? No, man, you're not supposed to be doing that. Joe Smoke can't do that. The 12th, 13th man, that is a very small percentage of people that can say that to those guys. The James Jones, who's now a GM, the Juwan Howard, who's now one of the head coach, the David West, it's a small percentage of people. So when you have that, to be able to hang out with you, JJ, our wives, you and me have gone out to eat to dinners before. Like, if I tell you, JJ, come on, bro, you can't do that on the pick and roll. Like, you're not going to take it as a offense of someone that. And so my value is basically being another coach, but another coach can't be in that locker room. He can't be on that bus. He'd be in dinners with us, and it's a select few, and that's why it's a very rare thing, and that's why I get paid these minimums over and over and over, and you guys will be mad when it happens again.
Well, Jared, we talked about this. We talked about this with Channing Frye a couple months ago, but we've talked about it with a bunch of different guys over the last few months, just about the value of glue guys on winning teams like this, and how if you basically look at every championship team over the last 20 years. No matter the circumstances, they all had 2 to 3 people like this who didn't necessarily play all the time, but they were there to bring everybody together. Is that something, before going back to when you were younger, when your career was a different place, did you have guys that were like that, that you learned from, or is this something that was just sort of a natural thing? You were always that personality?
I've always been that personality. It's been natural. But even when I, was playing, let's say guys like Jason Richardson, Grant Hill, teaching me how to be a pro on and off the court, how to take care of your body. They were just, I had Grant Hill and I had Shaq. I get to see how they both act. I know I'm not going to be as good as Shaq. I know I can't say what Shaq says. How do you be Grant Hill? Like, how does he treat the trainers? How does he treat the equipment guy of holding respect? How is he respected? Or guys out that don't say a lot, when they do talk, why do they listen to them? Because they're in the weight room every day. They don't be slacking, And so for me, it was just a natural ability, but I also saw the writing on the wall. Like, how do you prolong your career? How do you bring value when you can't bring value on the court? Why do people want to have you in the locker room? That's why someone like Vince Carter Vince Carter could have not played. The reason why he played 3-4 more extra years is they wanted him in that locker room for Atlanta. It wasn't because, hey, he could help contribute and get him to the playoffs, 20, 30 points. He was still a decent player. It's because Grant Hill wanted him in that locker room in Atlanta to help out Trae Young, to help develop him. And now look at Trae. It just takes a while, and that's the same thing with financially. Like, or JJ knows, I don't care what championship team. When we won the championship, we lost 4 games in a row. You don't think there's players complaining, oh, why didn't coach doing this? But you need a vet like, yo, relax. Steve Nash always told me, never get too high on wins, never get too low on losses. Like, you have to be even keel. This business is so up and down. You got to have guys to keep it level.
Jared touched on something. Did he touch on something really cool though? I mean, because like you talked about trust and how important that is in a locker room, and what you're building is trust. And I think that's so important in any organization or on any team, that you have this trust that you can, say what needs to be said to whoever. So I just wanted to underscore that because I thought it was such a really good, important point.